So, breaking off the press, red hot news. Lyon have won their appeal and will remain in Ligue 1. But what does this now mean for Forest and Europa? Let's get into it. Afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to the red hot breaking news as Lyon win their appeal against their relegation to Ligue 2 and will remain in Ligue 1. How are you guys doing? How are you feeling? I'll explain everything. This is literally breaking as we speak, and this is very, very exciting. If you're of the persuasion like me that you are shameless and I don't really give a crap what happens to Crystal Palace. So, guys, if you're excited, let me know by hitting that like button and make sure you've subscribed as well if you are new here. So, this is broken literally in the last 5 minutes. Let me run you through everything. We're doing it live. Get your comments in. How you feeling? Big up, Stoney. Good to see you back in the chat, bro. By the way, no, don't believe everything you read. Okay, so Romano has just tweeted to say official: Olympique Lyon will not be relegated to Ligue 2 and the club will stay in Ligue 1. The decision has been confirmed. Firstly, can we get some applause emojis in the chat, please? And for that news, and also for Stoney with the 32 months. Big up to Stoney, my guy, with the 32 months. So, what does this mean? Are Forest now in the Europa League? The answer is technically and officially no. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. What it does mean is that Forest are definitely not in the Europa League. Because had Lyon been confirmed as still relegated and lost their appeal, what that would mean is that they were going to pull out of the Europa League and be like, all right, hands up, we've been relegated and what have you. That means that we're no longer in Europa League. Now, what happens is that UEFA are forced to make a decision. UEFA had hid behind this whole Lyon relegation thing. They hid behind it. We're hoping that that Lyon's relegation would stand after the appeal and would mean by default their situation gets sorted out, right? So now what happens is that UEFA will have to make a decision. The full expectation now across anyone you speak to who's kind of tracking this article, who's involved in it and what have you, is that Crystal Palace will be relegated down to the Conference League at the very least. And as such, Forest will be pushed up into the Europa League. Okay, so let me say that again. The expectation now is that Crystal Palace get knocked down to the conference. They could even be kicked out of Europe because of Brumby and their other owner and his stake in there and multi-club ownership and all that stuff. And Pat Forest, who, as always, abide by the rules, will be in the Europa League. And that changes everything. That changes everything. Yeah, exactly this, bro. I don't think that means Forest automatically in Europa because they... Oh, hello, lights. Because they can still decide text or resigning was enough. That's not going to be enough. Yes, you're right, but it was after the fact. It was after the cutoff dates, okay? Forest just announced games against Palace and West Ham have moved. Interesting. I just still got to sort my camera settings out. Don't worry. I just haven't had 5 minutes. But this is good. More pull. Exactly. So, as I keep saying, I don't really care between Europa and Conference. They're both beneath us as a club. We should be in the Champions League. We shouldn't have bottled it. Blah, blah, blah. But you definitely have more pull in the Europa League than in the Conference League, right? There's no two ways about it. That's why I'm getting excited by it. And by the way, D from Back of the Nest, with all you running your mouth like you have to me for the last 2 weeks, Habibi, just wait. George saying, I'm not excited. We need to play Conference League because that is what we want on the field this year. I want top five, simple as that. With hard work and professionalism, we can do it. I hear what you're saying, but I don't care. Like, from my perspective, I'm not saying I don't care what you're saying. I'm saying you say what you're saying. I'm saying I don't care. One on the field or not one on the field. Manchester City have won by 4 or 5 titles, whatever it is, with 115 charges hanging over their heads. Manchester United have been given grants of 40 million in COVID money that other people didn't get. All this crap that happens off the field. Chelsea won the Conference League last season by cheating the year before to get into Europe by overspending. So why do we have to hold the moral high ground? We got docked 4 points under PSR, and Leicester found a loophole. Chelsea sold hotels. Chelsea sold their women's team. Villa have just sold part of their women's team, right? Football isn't black and white anymore. It's very grey. It's very grey. So if we get it, I don't really give a damn. The only person I still feel sorry for is Rich. The person I definitely don't feel sorry for is D. All right, so just to confirm, it's not confirmed. But what is confirmed is that it's not confirmed. Do you get what I'm saying? If Lyon had been relegated today, end of story. GG's, job done. Good night, goodbye. Okay? But because of this, now UEFA have to make the decision. Now, let's take it further. Because once UEFA make that decision on who gets Europa League, which is expected now to be Forest, right? Either way, if they back Forest or they back Crystal Palace, guaranteed it goes to CAS, right? Not CAS from Never a Foul, CAS as in the sporting body, okay? And CAS will take 2 days to come to a decision on the appeal. That's usually their time frames. They're quite quick about turning it round. Now, the thing that doesn't help Palace here, in my opinion, the power is now in Forest hands, right? Because if UEFA side with Palace and say, you know what, they have never had Europe, let's give them a little run in Europe and what have you, right? As soon as it goes to CAS, Marinakis or our lawyers just turn around and say, well, the Irish team got kicked out under multi-club ownership. You've got a couple of teams got kicked out of the Club World Cup. I think there was another 1 or 2 that were chucked out of conference. They've got case studies coming out of their backsides to say that this, and CAS will be like, yeah, precedent set. Sorry, Palace. Conference League. And that's how I expect it to go. So I don't know which way UEFA are going to rule with this. Matt saying CAS have already made a decision on this and they upheld UEFA excluding the Irish team. Exactly, Matt. Exactly that. Precedent is so key in the court of law, or well, the CAS court of law, in any court of law. Okay, so this is key. This is key. And yeah, for those of you wondering what CAS stands for, Court of Arbitration. For sport. It's a tough word. Arbitration. Okay, so are you guys following? So although Forest are officially not in the Europa League, I promise you Marinakis is having a field day right now. An absolute field day. This is huge news for Forest. What are you saying here, Geordie? No good in having rules on dates than changing the rules. If that's the case, no rule should apply. Facts. Absolute facts. Rules are rules. Deadlines are set. Exactly. Yeah. Who's got those Leipzig bookings, man? Yeah. Refund up to like 4 weeks before. Yeah, it ain't CAS with a strong K, it's CAS with a C. All right, let's not like CAS knows what's going on. Mail Sport has come out to say Palace is set to be kicked out. Yeah, so this is important as well. Now, before all the news broke, let's continue on with the story. In fact, it's out here now. Shout out to Hazardous. Let's have some fun and read some articles. Right, let me just get the articles up for you guys. Do we need to read it with some? Are we quite ready for sunglasses and Hawaiian tops yet, or what are we saying, guys? What are we saying? Is it time? Do we need some sunglass emojis in the chat? Does this mean Palace booted from the conference still? Not quite, Paul. Not quite. I think as a compromise, what's going to happen is they are going to allow Palace to stay in the Conference League, and poor little old Bromby will get kicked out. And then it's between them and Brighton to fight it. Once we're out of the equation, cool. Like, let them, their so-called rivals, sort it out. Texter sold his Crystal Palace. Forest still going to Europa League. I honestly don't know, bro. It's happening. And there's only one Palace fan's tears I will be drinking. One. D. Yeah, so the expectation is Bromby could be the ones who suffer in all of this. Which is harsh on them, and I feel they would have been hard done by. Okay, let's get this article up for you guys. Give me 2 secs. Let's do your comments while I'm loading up this article. Yeah, definitely you do, Java. I know you're one of them ones. You're one of them ones, man. Morals and all that stuff. I don't like Forest because most of your fans seem to hate us since the 80s, but I'm happy for you. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it, bro. Both our competitions are for second and third tier teams, so perfect for you guys. I don't know who you support, but you do know we have 2 stars. Yeah, you know what competition they came from. Are you finally getting Europa League? By the time they made a decision, bro, it would have finished. It literally would have finished. That's the thing with it. All right, let's get into this article, guys. Let's get into this. I may have to adjust the size on screen. Okay, that's not too bad, actually. Breaking news. Crystal Palace set to be thrown out of the Europa League as Lyon win the appeal to stay in France's top flight. And another Premier League club is primed to replace them. Does anyone know who that primed Premier League club is? Please let me know in the comments. I can't quite figure it out. I need some help from you guys, and I need you guys to hit that like button as well if you haven't already. So let's get into the article. This is by Luke Powers. He says, Crystal Palace are set to be demoted to the Europa Conference League with, there's the club, Forest, likely to leapfrog them into the Europa League. Let's read that again. Crystal Palace are set to be, quote unquote, demoted to the Europa Conference League with Nottingham Forest likely to leapfrog them into the Europa League. Oh my God, my camera got excited. It started. In fact, you know what? We need to go a step further here. We need to go a step further. Hold on. Let's get some like breaking news. Let's get the lights going. Oh, you can't quite see it. Oh, come on. Oh, fuck. Breaking news. Shall we continue? French side Lyon this afternoon announced that they had won their appeal against their relegation from Ligue 1. Why can't I see that word? Had the decision stood, it would have meant that Palace, the FA Cup winners, would have been in next season's Europa League. However, it now means the South London side are set to be relegated to the third tier competition thanks to UEFA's rules on multi-club ownership. And let's remember, rules are rules. That's what we kept getting told with the PSR stuff. So the rules are the rules. Let's continue. However, as Mail Sports revealed, Palace officials jetted to UEFA headquarters last month to plead their case. Competition rules mean that in instances where one person has control over multiple clubs which qualify for the same European tournament, the one which finishes higher in the domestic league takes the first slot. Beautiful rules. Absolutely beautiful rules. Where are we? Palace issue was that Sir John Texter, they've missed out the Sir word there, the US businessman whose Eagle Football Holdings has the majority stake in the club, also had the majority share of Lyon. Key thing, Palace fans, stop trying to glaze this one over. He has no control. He has no say in what's going on. He had the majority holding in Crystal Palace and in Lyon as well, in his club. And because Lyon finished 6th, compared to Palace's 12th, they took the slot. Palace had argued that Textor, who subsequently sold his stake, had no say in the running of the club. However, the failure to take action to separate Textor from the club before UEFA's March the 1st deadline landed them in an administrative nightmare. Or dream. It depends what side of the fence you're sitting on. 25% voting right is not majority control. I don't care how they broke up the voting rights, my friend. He still had over 40% in his company of that. Eagle, great name, Texter. What? Sir John Texter. Anyway, let's continue. There had been hope for Palace after Lyon were relegated and after breaching financial fair rules in France, which I've got to say was just allegations against poor old Lyon, right? Who have been run beautifully by Sir John Texter, who have been such a heritage of a European football team, who just let's not forget, who recognize footballing talent and are prepared to overpay for that footballing talent in the likes of Mangala and in the likes of Niakate. Oh, and by the way, let's just break from this news to remind you of some more breaking news as the lights are all flashing away, because this is just as big of news. It is now breaking news, very likely, that Matthew Turner will join Lyon and Lyon will pay Forest money for him. Let me say that again. Matthew Turner is likely now to join Lyon and Lyon will pay us money for him. Woo, what a day. What a day. Look at you lot in the chat. Big up to George with the $49.99. Big up to you, man. He goes, here is for your hard work, and I hope I see Forest in Romania. Maybe. Any Romanian clubs in the Europa League? Don't worry about the Conference League. Not important in what competition. I will be the only Romanian in Forest area. Yo, big up to you, bro. I know there are some more Romanian Forest fans out there. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. Appreciate it. You thought I was gonna say Fofana. Oh. What are you guys saying? Fofana incoming. All right, these lights are probably giving someone some strobe thing or epilepsy. Yeah, let's take them off. Should we get back to the article? Shall we get back to the article? Wolfie, don't take the piss. I'm at work having a very bad time. Please tell me it's legit. Andy, bro, this isn't never a foul, man. This is where the news breaks. Legit. Oh my God! If we went and got Fofana, and by the way, right? I'll tell you factually for now that certain Palace fans are very worried that even if they just drop to the conference, not even out of Europe, Eze gone. Maybe Forest now with that link, who knows? Right? You've got Wharton, Mateta, Matt Turner, their glorious backup keeper from last season, gone. Should have held Elanga on for a bit. You say everyone going to City, calm down. What? I mentioned City, and we refer to them as 115 on this channel. Yesterday, bad day of the Langer. Today's very good. Look, let's just confirm things, right? We are not over the line just yet, okay? But we are closer to the line than we were half an hour ago. Okay? Let's get back to the article. We've got to unpack this article as well. There's a lot to talk about. Anyway, however, their successful appeal will cause devastation at Selhurst Park. That's a shiver down my spine. Let's read it again, guys. However, their successful appeal will cause devastation at Selhurst Park. Let's continue. There's plenty to see here. As a knock-on effect, it would appear that Forest, who were in the Conference League, will be promoted to the Europa League and effectively take Palace's spot. Now, here's the key line. UEFA officials will now meet before a decision is communicated. We'll come back to that in a minute. A Lyon statement says, Olympique Lyon welcomes today's decision by the DNCG to keep the club in Ligue 1. Lyon thanks the appeals committee. So do we. Can we have a round of applause in the chat for the appeals committee who have upheld, should I say, the rule of law. The rule of law. Big up to the appeals committee for recognizing, not just for holding and upholding the rule of law, but also recognizing the ambition of the club's new management. This is some foresight from the appeals committee to see ahead into that future, to understand what Lyon are building, to understand the importance of Lyon to that French league, right? And also we need a moment for PSG, who unselfishly paid the full money for Barcola to Lyon to help a fellow football team. Like, big up to PSG. I hope you beat Real Madrid tonight. I really do. I really do. Just for that unselfish act of kindness. Remember that film, Pay It Forward? I hope it gets paid forward to PSG tonight against Real Madrid for what they have done to French football, because French football needs Lyon in that first division. So big up to PSG. How am I making enemies, Pat? I'm reaching out to the PSG fans and I'm saying, well done. I'm reaching out to the Lyon fans and I'm saying, congratulations. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, let us continue. The new management, supported by the commitment and dedication of our shareholders and lenders, is extremely grateful for all the support received, both within and outside the club. Basically, they're saying Marinakis without saying Marinakis, allegedly, including from its supporters, employees, players, partners, and elected officials, and President Marinakis. Because, by the way, he's President Marinakis now. Let's continue. Today's decision is the first step in restoring confidence in Lyon. We can now focus our attention on our sporting objectives and fully prepare the next season. You know what, guys? I've always had, like, you know how you have little soft spots for teams in other European leagues? Like, for me, Real Madrid, because Zidane was there. You know, what a player he was. I used to, with French League, Lille, I had a little soft spot for them because they had Renato Sanchez. He was a baller on FIFA. You know, anyone who used this inform would know, so I had a little soft spot for them. Screw Lille. My new favorite French team, because of their approach and their ethics and the way they've been able to turn it around. They've realized that the direction they were going in wasn't on course. It wasn't on course. And now they've been man enough to admit it and change the direction of that course. And for me, Lyon are now my favorite French team. They are. Maybe I get a Mangala shirt from Lyon or a Niakate shirt from Lyon to just show them that connection we have. Maybe I even hang it up on the wall here. Maybe I even hang it up on the wall here. Who knows? Who knows? And a massive shout out has to go out to Sir John Textor, who deserves to be knighted because he's realized he can best serve the purpose of Lyon by stepping back, because he's no longer managing Lyon. Yes, he's still got his shares and everything with there. Wolfie, get a sign saying thank you, Lyon. Hell yeah, hell yeah. You know, he's stepped back and understood that, you know what, I don't need to be the center of attention, is what John Textor is saying. He's saying I can step back and put my trust in other people who do this day in, day out and can run it. And I respect a man who can delegate. And that's exactly what he has done. So, for those of you just joining, you need to text your picture on the wall. Shall I? Oh my God, shall I do that? Shall I do that and get Dion and Rich on? Oh my God. All right. For those of you joining late, let me give you a quick recap. And I don't mind recapping it because it's lovely to recap. Hold on, just before I do, let me just check if anything else is broken here. All right, we're still good. By the way, guys, please do hit the like. How many likes we got? What are we saying on these likes? 165 likes. Are you guys for real? Do you guys want to stay in that conference league? There's nearly 700 in here, and I'm seeing 145 likes. Should be at 250. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Make sure you've subscribed as well. Heath with the super chat. Big up to you, Heath, with the 199. Says Palace gonna be another Wolves rivalry. We got them second game of the season, man. Their first home game. Oh man. Oh, that's gonna be special. Thank you so much for the 199. Oh God. Anyway, let me catch you guys up. For those of you joining late, firstly, make sure you've hit the like button. What you got to do, if you got your chat open, close the live chat, hit the like button, reopen the live chat, get your comments in. Can we get Texter on? Bro, it's Sir Texter to you. Thank you very much. All right. Let's, because his head's about to blow. Breaking news. Well, it's not. Oh no. We've got to do this properly. So let's just right. So, breaking news in the last hour: Lyon have won their appeal to be reinstated back into Ligue 1 from their relegation into Ligue 2. Justice prevailed, and because of this promotion, it had they remained or lost their appeal, it would have meant Palace were guaranteed Europa League. Because of this, now UEFA now have to make a decision on Palace versus Forest, and the expectation is that due to multi-club ownership rules, Forest will be bumped up to the Europa League, and Crystal Meth Palace will be kicked down at least to the Conference League, if not out of Europe completely. Now, again, to reiterate, once UEFA make their decision, which is expected to be to bump Forest up, Crystal Palace will then have the right of appeal to CAS. Or the other way around. If they side with Palace, then Forest will have the right of appeal to CAS. CAS will then deliberate for 2 days. But with the precedent set on the teams that have been kicked out, the Irish team, the team out of the Club World Cup, the couple of teams out of the conference, I think another one went out of Europa, precedent is set, and Palace are pretty screwed. Big up to Heath again with the 199. He says, give Textor freedom and the keys to the city. Right, let's just make sure we get over the line first, right? But now what I would say is, for those of you, and shout out to you again for the 199, bro. What I'd say to you guys, right, is that, look, let's just follow this journey path. For those of you who saw my interview with Kieran Maguire, and I'll quote / paraphrase him, I said to Kieran, yo, Kieran, we're mates, bro. Off the record, pretend the camera's not rolling, even though it was. Do you think Palace will get kicked out of this? And he said to me, there is a chance. He goes, but there is a chance as well that maybe one day he would get dinner with Kylie Minogue. So I say to Kieran, my friend, right now, I will pay for your dinner with Kylie Minogue, because Kieran, that looks like it's on the cards. The breaking news, Kieran Maguire will get to have dinner with Kylie Minogue. And he deserves it. He's one of the nicest people on the planet. He's very generous with his time to us on the channel and to you guys. And I would like another round of applause for Kieran Maguire, who will be having dinner with Kylie Minogue, because it's looking like Forest are in the Europa League. That's how the journey started. Right? That felt like yesterday, man. It's been a while since then. So I've put a poll up. We've got a poll up. Are you happy Forest looks set for Europa League? 77% of you are saying yes. 12% of you are saying no. And 11% of you are undecided. Yo, what are you undecided about? Talk to me, 11%. Talk to me, 11%. What are you undecided about? Got Matt in the chat. He's saying, bro, yeah, it's funny today we had to change 2 games because of the Conference League. That we were just trolling them, Matt. We were just trolling them. That's all we were doing. All right, hold on. I got a little update for you here. Mike Keegan, and shout out to him. He's been very good on this story. Disaster for Palace as Lyon win their appeal. Decision from UEFA to come, but looking like Palace in Conference League and Forest in Europa. I'm telling you guys, it's looking good right now. It's looking good right now. I got so many receipts for Palace fans. By the way, are there any Palace fans in the chat? Any Palace fans? Palace fans, talk. Palace fans, talk to us, Palace fans. Talk to us. What are you saying, Palace fans? You should have Kieran on again and try to goad him into mocking Palace. He's still, you know what? Kieran is such a nice guy, man. He wouldn't do it. Harry, Hawaiian shirt, that comes out when it's official. It's official. Time for a call to Rich. Rich works in the school. Should we see what he's saying? See what he's saying. I don't know. He's still working, Rich. See what he says. Text Rich. Textor. I believe it when it's real, says Aaron. Bro, like, I'm just telling you what the news is saying, right? I'm just telling you what the news is saying. By the way, we're still not at 300 likes, right? Get those likes up. Get those likes up. As long as I can see that. Oh my God. Hughes. Poor Hughes. Wait 1 second. The decision today, if UEFA confirms Forest in the Europa League, might give us a huge opportunity to sign some top European players who are reluctant to play in the Conference League. Yes, and this is exactly what we are talking about. Right, 1 second. What is this idiot saying? We're going to talk about these players in just a second. The lovely Jess in the house. What are you saying, Jess? With the £5? Because with your high level of intelligence, Wolfie, why, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Realistically, do you think this will actually happen? Yes. Yes, I do. I still expect Palace to appeal it. I just don't see how they have any precedent whatsoever to get an appeal to go their way. Huge news. Thank you so much, Jess, for the £5. I really do. Look, for weeks I've just been saying, like, yeah, whatever. It's looking like it could be if this happens, and then this next domino falls, and then the one after, and then one falls from the side, and then this one cuts across it from the angle. Every single one of those things has happened so far. One final hurdle. Which way does UEFA decide? Now, let me just say this to you guys, right? If UEFA sides with Palace, let's just say they do, okay? I don't see that as a bad thing because I think Forest win at CAS. Comfortably win at CAS, right? So there may be like an, oh my God, here we go, Jinx Arena and what have you. But they will side with us. They will side with us. Wolfie, please watch Ollie. Who's Ollie Thomas? Who's Ollie Thomas? It ain't no commentator's curse, bro. It ain't no commentator's curse. Yeah, to be honest, I feel bad for absolutely nothing, says Tim. Nick saying, I feel bad for the Crystal Palace fans and players, but the why do people feel sorry for their fans, man? I don't understand that rhetoric. I don't understand it. Do you honestly think, right? Let me just tell you guys this, right? Let's just say it wasn't Luton we were fighting with. I mean, we didn't really fight with them. But let's just say the season that Forest got the points deduction 2 years ago, right? Let's just say the other team we were fighting with relegation for was Crystal Palace. Do you think that had Forest gone down and Crystal Palace survived by 2 points and we'd been docked 4 points, the Palace fans would be sitting there saying, yeah, you know what? I'm kind of happy we survived, but I still feel sorry for the Forest fans. Do you actually, honestly believe that? So why is anyone feeling sorry for the Palace fans? The only feeling of any kind of emotion from any of the fan bases involved should be the Palace fans to their stinking board. That's it. They should have anger to them. That's not our problem. If someone can explain to me how that is our problem, that their board couldn't put in a bit of paper by a set date to make sure they registered. It's very simple. It's very simple. Fill in the form, chuck it in, put a stamp on it, maybe send it, signed for special delivery just to make sure you got a tracking number, and then just send it off. It's not like Palace had to freaking go and, run a marathon and then go do the Krypton Factor course. And then after they've done that, go on freaking, I don't know, the weakest link and have to win that. And then after that, go on Britain's Got Talent and win that as well. No, they just had to fill out a form, put a stamp on it, send it off before a set date. How the hell is this our problem? That is their problem. That's the you problem, not an us problem. That's my point here. So feeling sorry for the fan base for what? For what? For what? 1 second. What else we got here? What else we got? See if we got anything else for you guys. So there is still a chance, by the way, that Brighton get in. Big up to Forest Till I Die, which is 23 months, 1 month away from the 2 years. Massive shout out to you. Look, we're 11 likes away from from 300. Get it done, guys. Nearly 700 in here. Wolfie, is there any chance that Palace play in the Europa League? I will take you to one of the greatest films of all time, Dumb and Dumber. Lloyd Christmas is standing there. He has Mary Swanson in front of him, and he says to her, "What are the chances of a girl like me and a guy like you getting together?" And I quote, she says, "Not great." And then he replies by saying, "Not great how? 1 in 100?" She says, more like 1 in a million. He looks at her up and down, and then he turns around and says, "So you're saying there's a chance?" That's Palace's chances right now. I'd say 1 in a million. Oh, hold on. I think Texter's arrived at my front door. What are you saying, Texter? Texter? Hello, Texter? What are you saying, Texter? By the way, Dumb and Dumber. What a film. What a film. Tommy's saying 1 in a billion. I've seen that on Netflix or something, and it's spelt with a K, right? It's spelt with a K. Anyway, so that's the news, right? Again, let me reiterate, we're not over the line, but I would say we were at the line. At the line. Big difference. Now, the absolute icing on this cake, and I don't care if it sounds salty or whatever, and this is not aimed at Rich, right? This is just aimed at D. Palace get kicked out of Europe completely, and Brighton go in. And I'll tell you why that will be so funny. Because as you guys know, I go on the 12th Man podcast. Shout out to Potts, shout out to the 12th Men boys, right? D was about to make a debut appearance on the Race to Europe show. Imagine him getting the call up from Potts to get onto that prestigious show and then get kicked out of Europe completely. He will go down in history as the only person to get into Europe and get kicked out without playing a game. I'm there for that. I'm there for that. I'm there for that. All right, what we got going on here? Hold on. Any more news? Palace fans are in meltdown right now. In meltdown. In absolute meltdown. I might watch Dumb and Dumber after this finishes. Some would say you are watching Dumb and Dumber right now, bro. But what a film, what a film. Wait, I'm still asking. I still want to know in the chat, where are the Palace fans? Because they've been in the comments on any video we've done about this. And I was quite surprised, like, because I know Rich, I know D. That's about it. They're Palace fans. Where are they now? They were coming out of the woodwork, left, right, and center. You're not going to get Europa League. We deserve it. We deserve it. Big up, Martin, with the 32 months. Shout out to you, Martin. All right, I'll close the poll. 65% on that poll. Do you feel bad for Crystal Palace? 65% of you are saying no. 34% of you are saying yes. My God, man. Why? Why? We got a Palace fan in the house. How are you feeling now, bro? What are you saying? What are you saying? You still think, look at the hopium, guys. Look at the hopium. Look at the hopium there. Facts, Daniela. You broke the rules. The rules are, I might change this channel name to Rules Are the Rules. Big up, Check. How you doing? Hope well and healthy. What's the verdict? The verdict is Lyon have remained in Ligue 1 and they've won their appeal against that disgusting notion of relegating them for no apparent reason. No apparent reason. So justice has prevailed. Justice has prevailed. So, right, let me give you the summary. Lyon have won their appeal. They will remain in Ligue 1 and by de facto also remain in the Europa League. UEFA now, next step, UEFA will have to make a decision. Should Palace be kicked out of Europa based on multi-club ownership rules? And should they be kicked down to the conference or out of Europe completely because of Brøndby? Because of Brøndby. And with that said, Forest will end up in the Europa League, which they've earned, to be quite frank with you guys. Big up to Scottish Forest guy says, I ain't excited until UEFA say we are in. I hear you, man. I'm just breaking the news as it comes, right? It's a step-by-step process. Now, once UEFA make that decision, whoever's favor it falls in, be it Forest or Palace, there will 100% be an appeal to CAS. 1,000,000,000%. Dumb and Dumber style settings when it comes to 1 in a million. I'm saying 1,000,000 out of 1,000,000%, an appeal will come. That appeal will last 2 days from the hearing of it, and then CAS should side with Forest because of the precedent set by all the other teams that have been kicked out this summer alone, not just for European competitions, but also the Club World Cup as well. Got it? We'll keep you posted. We'll do a transfer news for you guys later as well. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. We'll be back in a bit. Great news. Good day. Come on, you Reds.